Howdy folks, and welcome to another episode of Stanley and the Sea Can. All right, so today we had some questions about how do you make things and why do you make things the way they are. So I thought, well, why don't we talk about this for a quick sec. So you guys have probably seen something like this before. It's a little shorty pistol barrel, probably for an FX9, but no one will ever know. And little thread adapters. This is what we're working on today. And so we have the external threads on the thread adapter and internal threads. And the same here, it just has external threads. So we can use many different options, but typically you'd use a die or we use single point cutters. So see, for tooling discipline, we laser etch what it is and everything else. And so we basically get the machine to just kind of keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to make it. And that's great. And you end up with a situation where the parts thread together. This is the standard half 28 threads of your 556 and modern 9mm spec. And that's great. You can test it on the machine, you can tweak any settings you need to, and away you go. The question is, how do you do the inside? What's better for the inside? So this is hot off the press. Op 1's done parting, as you can see, and we need to do some internal boring and threading. So this is a tap which we could use to, well, basically force it in there and turn it really hard, either by hand. It's got this beautiful square shank, the little hole there, so you could put like a pin in a drill press. These things have an interesting tendency. They're sharp enough that you could, like, you know, put it in on an angle, then you'll end up with like really messed up threads that won't work, or your thread adapter will be on a weird angle or something. So that's no good. The other option is you could use something like this. It's a little baby-sized internal threading tool. In this particular case is a cemented carbide, so it's a steel shaft here, and then we've got a little piece of carbide that's brazed on and ground into our 60-degree thread angle. So I guess arguably you could use the same thing on the outside and slide it across, right? But with this, then on the CNC machines, we have much bigger tools for bigger parts. But since we're going to do the inside of this one here is actually 1/2" 20 for, I forget what kind of gun it is. I think it's some sort of weird European gun that has a 1/2 20 thread on the muzzle. So we're making a conversion tool with this to convert it to the standard 1/2 28 so that we can run all of our standard muzzle brakes. So what's better? Should I use this piece to kind of go in there on the inside, of course, right? Just like cut the threads, or should I use the tap? Well, the simple answer for this particular part, I don't want to have any handwork to do once I'm done. I just want it to come off the machine, send it. I don't even have to deburr it, honestly, because of the machines do all the breaking of the sharp corners and stuff for me. So which would I go with? So this one here is, it's actually a starter tap. So you can see the first several threads. I'm just trying to find the camera view here. The first several threads don't cut all the way. They don't really start cutting all the way till about here. Maybe this guy, or this guy for sure here. So if I was to put that into such a small part, it stops 100 thou shy, right about there. You can see my threads that are actually useful are stopping right about there, which is going to result in this big empty cavity, which is going to fill with crud and garbage and all sorts of fun, nasty stuff, and it'll end up leaving a space on your barrel because it won't thread in all the way. So you'll end up with something like, you know, it'll stop and bottom out right there or something. So you got this big, ugly, nasty gap which you could fill with a bunch of crush washers or something. So I don't want to deal with that. So the way we could fix it is we could get another one of these. We could use the machine or something, or by hand, to thread in a bunch of these and then cut off the last, you know, 5 or 6 threads, and then use this as a finishing die, or tap, sorry. Alternatively, I guess you could just buy one, but typically you just make your own. But the single point is going to be the key here, because I can come in and I can have it, you know, come right to the bitter end, and then there's just enough space in this tolerance here set up so that I can come here and come out and retract. And then when I'm done, after the machine is done its cycle, the part threads in, and the thread is complete all the way to the end. And you end up with a situation like this, where it sits nice and flush, and of course you don't need to go that far because you've got a crush washer and such in there, but it has the ability to go all the way in. So if you wanted to use something like a jam nut or whatever else, all these options are now open to you. So yeah, interesting question from Colin there in the peanut gallery. Thanks, Colin. If you like this type of content, which is a little bit more technical oriented or machining oriented, gunsmithing kind of things, comment smithing, SMITHING. And if you like more of the other stuff, where we're kind of like playing with firearms and accessories and things like that and showing how they work, write accessories. And that's about it, guys. Well, thank you for watching, and as Grandma always says, you kids better keep your head on a swivel. If you don't, you'll be the speed bump. Out.